It has been a minute. It's always a minute. I know that. For those of you that have followed along my personal journey, I suppose that's ultimately what this has become. You would know that more recently I had some spiritual encounters with what I can only describe as Jesus. They were that was my experience. And from that point moving forward, I have had additional gifts, I suppose, that have unraveled themselves for me. The reason I wanted to jump on here and have a little chat today, though, is first of all because I haven't for a little while, and secondly, I'm moving through this growth period, and I actually wanted to acknowledge the fact that I don't remove any of my videos. So ultimately, you can always go back and look at the initial process of my growth just by looking at the videos. And I have mentioned this previously about going through and having a look at sort of the changes that have occurred just personally for me. And those changes have been somewhat videoed, I suppose. I have kept in communication, and I've never shied away from who I am and the authenticity of the process that I'm going through. And now again, I'm in a position where the growth that I have experienced has now led me again to another part of who I am. And the truth of the matter is that everything that I am now able to do, these gifts that I am sort of experiencing, have always been within me. And they are within everybody, to be perfectly fair. It's only that I have chosen to sort of burrow down and continue down this path in a very basic kind of sense. I have allowed myself the space to meditate. I've allowed myself the space to do breath work. I've allowed myself the space to shut myself away when I needed to. I've allowed myself the space to go away and have some time, maybe even just not so much holidays. I haven't done a holiday per se, but definitely sort of solitary camping and things like that, where I've taken myself off into a solitary situation and I have sat with the experiences that I have been going through. The current experience that I'm going through, and I'm very excited to share, simply because I feel like this one's a game changer. I now, after my experience with Jesus, and that is still very present in my life, I feel that healing presence around me. And whilst I will again say that I'm not a religious person, it is not about religion. It is actually about it's about the connection to source, I suppose. And this is my guide that is coming through to me. And the other thing I want you to remember as well is that, first of all, one of my friends said it to me, and I think I've said it previously, but Jesus, he was a carpenter first and foremost. So, he was just a regular guy who kind of had these processes and all the rest of it. And I'm not here again to spruik about Jesus or religion or any of that sort of stuff, because I was the least most expecting person to have that come through to me, given the fact that I pushed away religion for many, many years, probably because I was brought up to have it as part of my life. And I just think that as the little rebel that I was, it was the resistance that I had created. So I now willingly accept Jesus and those guides into my life. And also because of that, I now have the capacity to connect in with spirit or people that have passed, energies that have passed. And in my healings, I often get messages come through from loved ones that have crossed over, and I'm able to share those with my clients. I don't consider myself necessarily a psychic medium or any of those sorts of things. However, the behavior of what's coming through to me would be indicative of that kind of thing. So I had a beautiful opportunity the other day. I was getting a very, very strong message for a an extended family member, so my son's father, to be fair, and his father had actually passed away, and his father was coming through to me, and it was quite specific, and it was jovial and it was playful, and because I obviously had the opportunity to be able to reach out, I was able to reach out to my son's father and say to him, hey, I think your dad's coming through for me. These are the messages that I'm getting from him. And I was able to share that. So I just think it's a beautiful gift that I have been shown now that I'm able to share with other people. And it is really, really fun. I would like to say that, you know, everybody goes through a healing pathway, and I'm not done. My pathway's not done. I have no idea where this is going, what's going to come of it, where it's all taking me, or any of those sorts of things. But I wanted to share with you all that this pathway that I have been on, and it's been a bit of a it's been a bit of a rough journey, because all the way along, all I've tried to do is show up authentically. And I think that in a funny way, I've been able to do that, and I've bared all, and I've had a lot of naysayers. I've had a lot of people turn around and make comment about the fact that I'm sort of losing the plot, or I'm sharing too much information, or whatever. And ultimately, I firmly believe that this is my pathway. I am here to try and assist people to make better choices in their life, and a lot of that comes from dealing with your own belief systems, dealing with your own traumas, and allowing the beautiful things that are supposed to be with us to come through. And I think I have done a lot of personal work, and I have tried to love and give and care for as many people as I possibly can. And that hasn't always been a nice job for me. I think sometimes the position that I have been able to put myself in, whilst willingly, has been taken advantage of by other people, and that has been hurtful, and I have had to sort of pull back from certain situations. And by the same token, the growth and the learning that I've had has allowed me to lean in to certain situations. I mean, there was a period of time there for probably a good 4 months or thereabouts where I really wasn't able to communicate with my own family. I was dealing with my own personal trauma and belief systems, and breaking down what I felt was indoctrination versus who I truly am. And the wonderful thing is that everything comes back to love. And so whilst I spent sort of months working through that, I'm now in a position where I love my family dearly, and I love myself dearly. I love the existence that I get to have absolutely deeply. And additionally, I am now getting these messages coming through from the other side, and I get to share them. I don't even share them just with people that I mean, clients that come through, but I will start receiving messages before they've even arrived, which has kind of spun me out the first time it happened. But I'm able to tap in, not all the time, but I'm able to tap into sort of family members and things like that, or extended family. I've actually been doing a little bit of work on my own family tree. So my auntie did a little bit of legwork going back 15 years ago. We worked out 15, 16 years ago. She did some legwork, and I've actually picked some of that back up, because I have some family that, I have a great-great-grandmother that was actually born just outside of Dalesford in an area called Guildford. And so I have had the beautiful opportunity of being able to dive back in to that with an even greater understanding. I did know about it 16 years ago, but now I have the opportunity to do it off my own bat, and to be able to actually tap into some of those little spiritual things that are going on for me. So I guess I'm here to sort of reach out and say, whilst I still work with the body, and I'm working with trying to create a situation where we get people to come back into their body and work really deeply within themselves from a physical level, but also from a mental and a spiritual level as well with themselves, and from a healing point of view where they're actually working with their belief systems and even just sort of those ideas of who we believe we should be. Again, that is a bit of a belief system, but that continuous indoctrination, even down to social media and the things that kill me, algorithms, the more you watch, the more you will get the same of. And if you're on the wrong trajectory, you are doing nothing more than wasting your time sitting there. So by all means, sit on your phone, but make sure that your algorithm is set to something that's actually going to change your life. Another little thing, I'm still into the fitness side of things. In fact, that has increased, and I'm feeling the best I have felt in ages with it, and I know that that's going to get even better. I have my daily saunas, cold showers, all of those sorts of things. In fact, I'm now saunering at the gym, which I love, but I have to have my headphones in because next minute I'll be sitting in the sauna and all of a sudden I will have the other side trying to contact me, and I need to end up sitting there talking to people in the sauna and telling them a story about their loved one that's just come through to me, which can be a little bit jarring at times for people that are not used to that sort of thing. So I do err on the side of caution when I'm sharing information coming through to me, much like even if it is with family, I err on the side of caution because some things can come across as if there's no proof, it can sort of be a little bit ambiguous, and then ultimately it could feel to them like I'm making leading statements, I suppose. So I'm very, very mindful of the information that I do share. With that being said, I do get a lot of information coming through. So this is the latest little weird that has occurred for me, and I have absolutely no problem sharing my story with anybody. And also I would love the opportunity to perhaps have a couple more clients come through that are interested in the energetic healing work that I do. If you've perhaps had somebody that has crossed over and you would like to try and make a level of communication with them, that all happens within our session. So I don't sit there and do a card reading or tarot or any of that. Unfortunately, I would love if that was something that came through to me with absolute clarity, but it doesn't come through to me with clarity, not the same way that I would like. I have the capacity to read a cacao cup, which is quite interesting. I did not realize that I could do that until I was like, hang on a second, why am I reading, like, clear as day I can see words? And I think, I don't know what I think, to be fair. I mean, I show those cups to people, I'm like, can you see, this word written in there or this picture? And they sort of look at me like I'm batshit, but it is what it is. Because the minute that I'm able to express what I actually see, they're like, oh my gosh, this is connected, da, 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 da. So there will always be something. So it's a bit wild, it's a bit different, it's a bit crazy, but I am here, I'm doing this energetic work. I have unhooked another level into my healing for not only myself, but for other people. And if you would like to come and spend some time with me, I would love to share any messages that come through. And additionally, I would also like to help you center yourself, and we do that with a movement practice, and I actually use embodied I Ching for that. So I did that course going back a little while ago, so I am an embodied I Ching practitioner, and I use that movement to help center our chakras and get that all in alignment. I also use shamanic practice and energy healing as well to bring everything back into alignment, retrieve some messages, get the light back into you, and ultimately you leave feeling amazing, or at least that's the intention when you leave. And I would have to say that I have a pretty good strike rate. Nobody's left me in tears, and everybody's left me with a hug. So it's certainly pretty rewarding work. So I can't complain about the position that I'm in. I'm still a little bit working with my kids, doing some support work. However, that has quite drastically decreased as I've chosen to sort of go down this pathway that is presenting itself for me now. So anyway, that's the current uptake on where I'm at in my world. Thank you so much for being part of the journey. If you have continued to be part of the journey, and you too have the capacity to do all of these things. It's just a matter of finding space for yourself to actually test the water. Try it, do some breath work, do some meditation, but you have to go in deep. And if you don't know how to get in there, I can help you. So that's the story. Morning glory. Love to you all. It's a Friday. Happy Friday. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend. It has just been a full moon, so that was big. It's always big. I had lots and lots of tears again, but I feel that these are just moments to release, and I definitely feel the necessity to release, especially as more things sort of start to come in to my world. I have a lot of things that I need to sort of get rid of. So again, if you need guidance and help to do those sorts of things, I'm here. Reach out. I'm more than happy to help out. My sessions run for around about 90 minutes. I charge $110 a session, and ultimately what occurs in those sessions is whatever happens. And I know that sounds very wafty, but we go in with a plan, and essentially what ends up coming out of that is exactly what you needed, and it's spiritually guided. So whilst I'd like to take full credit for what is occurring in those sessions, I simply cannot. I am merely a vessel because I have opened myself up to this work that I am choosing to do. And I know that a lot of people think that it's weird, and that is absolutely okay. You are allowed to think it's weird. I guess I did too, until I started going and seeing the people that now do the things that I do. And I now get to mix in a community of people where we're all a little bit weird, I suppose. However, the unexplained is starting to feel a little bit explainable when you're not the only person going through it. So if you'd like to be part of the weird and wonderful, and the light and the stars and all that fun stuff, then please reach out. Love to you all. This is a bit of a long message, but love to you all. Bye.